In this video, we'll be learning how to use our THC and calibrating it in to work correctly with our Premier Plasma CNC table. We're going to start by making a test part. This is going to be a rectangular shape. We're going to make this around 1/2 inch wide by about 5 inches long. We're going to go over here, click on our tool, click once, let the mouse go out, click again. We're going to do our width 0.5, our height at 5 inches, then hit enter. After that, we're going to want to go to File, Export, DXF, hit OK. They're going to take and save this to our desktop. We'll name it THC test. We're going to save that. Now we're going to go over to SheetCam. After we've opened up SheetCam, we're going to go File, New Part. Do you want to import a drawing to this part? We're going to hit Yes. There's our THC test. Inches, bottom left. We're going to hit OK. Now we can do our operation. We can use an outside offset, layer 1. I'm going to be doing some 12 gauge. So I'm going to set my feed rate at 170. Actually, we'll do around 140 just to have it a little bit slower so we can adjust a little bit better. Lead in 0.2 inches. We'll hit OK. So there's our test part now. Now what we're going to do is post process it. Go up here to the top left to the P. Post process this. THC test. We're going to hit save. Post processing complete. We'll hit OK. Now we're going to go to Mach 3. Load our part in and get it ready to cut. After you get in Mach 3, you're going to want to hit load G code. There's our THC test. We're going to open that up. Now we're going to move our table to where we want to start on a fresh piece of metal. Zero out our Z. I'm going to zero out the X, Y, and Z now. Now what we're going to want to do is set our THC up. We are first going to want to see what our THC is set at. Then we are going to want to adjust it with the up and down arrows. For this we will adjust it to 103. What this 103 represents is our voltage that we have set the torch at. So what that means is if our torch starts cutting, and let's say it's cutting at 99 volts, well, after our delay time is up, the torch is going to raise up to 103 and maintain 103 volts. But let's say 103 volts is too low. So after the torch starts cutting, let's say it's at 105 volts, it's going to drop down to try to get to 103. So then it may collide with the table. In that instance, you will want to raise your voltage up. If your torch is too far away, you will want to lower your voltage. Vice versa. Next, we will hold down both buttons to get into our menu. We're going to select SPE. What SPE stands for is speed. This is basically the speed that your torch will raise up and lower while cutting. If it is too fast, your torch will dive in on corners and holes. If it is too slow, it will not adjust quick enough for the radius or the bend in your metal. So the best thing to have it at is around 94 to 98, but you can also try fine-tuning and adjust this. So we will leave it at 94. Now we're going to look for D-T for delay time. We're going to hold them down. What D-T represents is delay time. So the instant that the torch turns on to the instant that the THC starts raising and lowering the torch will be your delay time. We're going to set this at around 0.8 0.09. Now if you find that this is too short, you may want to increase it. Factors to increasing your delay time will be if you're cutting thicker material, you always want your delay time greater than your pierce delay. Because if your table is sitting there for a second and a half piercing a piece of metal and your pierce delay is only set at 0.9, the torch is just going to want to dive down into the metal. So if your pierce delay is at 1.5 seconds, you will want to have your delay time at around 2 seconds. As far as having no pierce delay, we have found out that setting our THC at 1.1 seconds has been the best outcome for our CNC plasma cutting tables. Next, we are going to go to HU. We're going to leave that at the factory 200. Then after that, we're going to make sure our direction is correct. So now we're going to hold both buttons down and go to DIR. We're going to want to make sure this is set at -1. You will also want to go up to Config, Ports and Pins, Spindle Setup, and we're going to want to make sure that these are all set to 0. This is going to help the THC work more efficiently. Now we're going to hit apply and hit OK. So for this, to make it a little easier on us, we're going to lower our feed rate down. Let's lower it down to about 70 inches per minute. This is going to let us see the plasma ray up and down. So we're going to go to hit start. Table is going to move over to the start position, drop down, lift up. Once it starts cutting, you'll see the head immediately start going up or going down. If your head is diving down, you'll want to increase the voltage. If your head is diving up, you will want to decrease the voltage. And this will be a few volts at a time until you find a happy medium where your table is cutting at the perfect height. We are starting at 112 volts on our test. Our 112 was too high, as you can see in the video, so we're going to try setting it at 97 volts. And here it goes cutting. You'll see the THC start to read numbers, and then the arrows pointing up and down are showing the direction that it's trying to adjust to make it the perfect height. And here is a video of it cutting at the perfect height. As you will see, the torch dives down and maintains the correct distance from the workpiece. Here it is, and it's shielded. You can see the torch is barely above the metal, but it's cutting at the correct distance, meaning we have the correct voltage set. Now we're setting our THC extremely low at 84. You will see the torch dives down in the video and collides with the material, meaning we need to raise our voltage.